What's happening? This is Everdon, and welcome to another episode of the Beats for Breakfast podcast. Today, I am joined by the homie, the one and only from the West Coast, C.O.A.K. Tell me how you living, homie.
Hey, man, what it do, what it is, what it be like, man. How you guys doing? How y'all feeling?
Chillin', man. How you living?
Man, hey, I'm living, bro. That's all that matters.
Oh, man. Yo, Coke has been... I've known Coke for over a decade now. I can say... where you can see someone that could rap, like dude could rap. This dude will rap over anything. You play any beat. Like this dude literally rapped over the Airplanes beat for like 10 minutes straight one point for no freaking reason.
Yes, sir. Oh, might I also toss to that. Remember, I had a sore throat too, and I didn't even care about that. I just kept going.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about that, probably give you some history on how we ended up working together at one point, and definitely on some projects and everything that has to do with him. But who is Coke? For the people that I know who Coke is, but for the people who don't know who C.O.A.K is, who is C.O.A.K?
Oh, man, that's a very complex and simple question. And I have a complex and very simple answer. C.O.A.K is basically... just your everyday cat, man. The same homeboy that you dap it up with off the stoop, off in the jacks, you know what I'm saying, the housing projects, whatever, by the school. That's me. I don't plan to be anything different. I'm a songwriter, avid gamer, artist, and just all around regular dude, man. That's all it is, to be honest. Nothing really special.
Cool. What was... for those who don't know, I'm asking you. I'm poke a little bit. And you didn't go too deep into this question, so I need to ask you. Pause, cause I could go way left field. But people who are watching, I know Rodrigo is like, whoa, you're a wild boy, and a few other people. Pause, by the way. But what does C.O.A.K stand for?
Oh, creation of a king.
Got you. Doesn't it have a double meaning to it?
Yes, it does. It's also child of Oakland. And what's so funny is my homeboy from Baltimore is who gave me that name. The name I was going by at the time is synonymous for a lot of stuff that I used to do. Like, everybody gets in trouble. And as I saw my peers growing, I wanted to grow too and change it. So, I dropped my other rap name, which I will not state here on here. But I switched it to C.O.A.K. Well, rather, he gave me the name, switched it to C.O.A.K, and he told me, shout out to Oakland, creation of a king, just because of some of the things I've talked about. Not even rapped about yet at the time. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm riding with that.
Cool. So you have been, like you said, an avid gamer, and you've also been someone who dealt with music for a very long time. So what would you say has been one of your biggest influence with gaming and music, and how did those two worlds collide for you?
Oh, man. Yeah, man. Just listen to the soundtracks of different games, man, and the possibilities of what you can make with them, and knowing, and some of the stuff that you can put me on, knowing that there are producers out there who actually sampled some games. Like, I know the swagger, and I hate that word. He knows I do. The swagger of Cowboy Bebop. I don't know. The comeuppance, or rather the nuance of Big Pun's. I'm not a player. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I mean? Like, that's a good kind of meld right there. Listening to, the fancy free of any song from, say, a Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, or a Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, and you throw that into, say, I don't know, some of what you listen to now, like something that you listen to from say Earth Gang or Kendrick Lamar, you know what I mean, or even J. Cole. So just that in general, I feel like those always meld together in my head anyway. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Look at that.
Cool. So before we go into our first break, why don't you tell some of the people a little bit about your first projects, projects that a lot of people probably don't know about, and can they still access some of these songs?
Oh, indeed, most definitely. My very first project, which I felt like took an arm and a leg, but guidance from again my brother right here, Wrath of a Hip Hop Fiend. I took the idea because before, well, we met in college. Me and Abaddon met in college, and I had at the time I was a graphic design major. Of course, that switched, but another classmate in that class was talking about Star Wars. Now I don't know nothing about that, but he kept talking about I forgot what it was. It was a movie. I don't know Star Wars like that, so forgive me. Sorry, Star Trek, and he was talking about Wrath of something, and it just stuck in my head. I just kept hearing it over and over and over. So I made a mixtape, Wrath of a Hip Hop Thing, which you can find on that Piff. That in itself gave off like a old hip hop meets East Coast feel. I mean, sorry, West Coast meets East Coast feel. I did, of course, Mind to the Mic by my homeboy Abaddon again. Straight freestyles. All five. We did five.
It was five tracks. It was a five.
Okay.
It was a 5-track EP of literally only 2 of those beats were pre-done.
Yup.
And the whole concept was there were 2 beats that were pre-done, but the other 3 I made off the fly. And when I made off the fly, I just opened the program. I literally did any, mini, money, mo to whatever sample that I had, picked the sample, and flipped it. One of the best ones that you guys probably have a pleasure to listen to is it was the Izzy Brothers. Which one was it? I forgot what song it was. It was the sample they used for "It's a Good Day." Yeah, what was it?
Love Lost.
Yeah, Love. That was the name of the song, but it was the one that Ice Cube did for "It Was a Good Day." The name of that sample.
Is it
Footsteps in the Dark. Footsteps in the Dark. That's what it is. Footsteps in the Dark. That's the name of the song. So I flipped that sample, and I will not forget to this day. It was like my other homeboy and myself, we were just looking like, where is the pad at? Because this dude is rapping, and it's like it's too put together right now. So definitely.
Yeah, man. I mean, that project is still something sacred to me, just because I was in a crazy place and I was just airing out everything. He's like, man, don't write nothing, just go at the top of the dome. And I was looking at him like, are you sure? I told him like, yo, I don't count bars, bro. I don't count bars. Like, my mind is just, he's like, yo, I feel like, I said, don't worry, I'll make it simple so you'll know when it's ending, you'll know when it's beginning. And he did. Like, he definitely helped me with that. I also kind of flexed my pen a little bit with Above Numbers. That one is on YouTube. You can find it off my old YouTube page. That's Lions Den XLV, or you can type in C.O.A.K, C.O.A.K, all of that, and just type in Above Numbers. It was just me just trying to show that, hey, you know, I can kind of get down on some of, at the time, the industry's hottest beats, or beats that I feel like would be good for the mainstream, and then just showing how my pen game worked. I felt like it was definitely a fun little project. You know, it was cool. After that, I took kind of like a seat back, doing shows and just learning more of the business side of music in general. So, and now now is like my little resurgence, if you will. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Got it.
Sorry. Also, can't forget, I did a collabo project with a DMV MC and another one of our brothers,
Tony Nolo.
Yes, sir. Did a project with him. It was called Coke and Dice. That was a fun project in itself.
Phenomenal.
We finished it real quickly, but we just kept revamping it so many times to a point eventually it was like, all right, we just gotta stop trying to make it perfect and just come out with it, and we did, and that's also on that Piff. So yeah, that's
also on
pretty
Bandcamp too, right?
Yes, it is also on Bandcamp as well too.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, it's funny because the age of mixtapes was like, it was a cool period for when, you know, mixtapes came out. Mixtapes were really a prominent thing from like the Yeah, 2010 to 2015, like the first half of the decade, mixtapes were super prominent for up and coming artists. So it's like now in the latter half of the year where becoming independent is way easier, it's almost like mixtapes aren't really a thing anymore. It's almost like you got to come out with either a single and an album now. It's like mixtapes are, correct me if I'm wrong and everything from your perspective, being out there. Just from my perspective, going in, looking as a consumer, looking at all the newer artists that are coming out now, I find it's a lot easier for me to find a good artist on SoundCloud. I almost said SoundClick, for those of you who know about that, on SoundCloud. And it's a little different than before. It's like I would look for mixtapes. Now I'm just looking for one or two songs. Do you think mixtapes are dead in this day and age, and it's just singles and albums?
I wouldn't say it's dead. I feel like mixtapes have now become the album. I'll give you a good example. One of my shout out to my cousin Philly, because he like when I first came to the East Coast, I'm trying to be, without not cursing, he made sure this rapper became somebody within my brackets to listen to kind of get a gist of it. Fabulous. He just dropped, and I just actually listened to it. Summertime Shootouts, as much as people want to rank it, people rank it like it's an album, but not forgetting it's part of a mixtape series. But when you look on the Spotify titles, the Amazon Musics, and so on and so forth, they treat those projects like albums. You know what I'm saying? It's still a body of work, yeah. So that's why I said, to me, I won't say that mixtapes are fully dead, but just know that they now form the same bracket. So let's say it is possible for somebody to win a Grammy off a mixtape. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's either been done or it's been done. Drake, right? Yeah. But it's easy to get awards and a lot of accolades from your mixtapes, just as well as it is your albums. But I feel like a lot of music purists kind of know when you're hearing a mixtape versus when you're hearing an album. Or
you moving the camera a lot. You moving the. I'll just be mindful. You are moving the phone.
You're not always talking with my hands. But you tend to. I said music purists tend to know the difference between a mixtape and an album, or dare I say, know when somebody's putting their all into a mixtape and when they're not putting their all into an album.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I would say. And anything else?
Okay, because it's like, and I actually had this conversation with somebody else I interviewed, which you guys will see at a later date. Actually, next Friday. Make sure you tune in for next Friday for that episode, because that's gonna be another hip hop talk. Shout out to Rodrigo. But we had a similar discussion, and it's almost like we also acknowledge like a lot of people came out with mixtapes and everything at a different time. It's like the one person you can't leave out in that conversation is C.O.A.K, because Friday Night Lights was a phenomenal mixtape. Other people to mention in this bracket, they don't really get mentioned too much amongst other people, but I like to give respect to Royce da 5'9". I like to give respect to especially Joe Budden. The Mood Music series was incredible. So that's why
shaped some of the ways I spit now.
see, I get it. So it's like when you look at different, mixtapes in the first half of the decade, and now we're in the latter half. I think as we entered in the new decade, it's like the new standard of music has changed, and it's going to be interesting, especially with some of these newer albums that are coming out, such as by Wale, Game's new album. It's like there's a lot of people who are coming out with some real heat right now. I think these album mixtapes have helped raise the standards for albums a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of add to that, over on this side here, over in the Bay, man, like you get a lot of mixtapes from. I'm talking about, you'll be surprised. Like here, it'll be let's take for one person in particular, right? Like let's say Jay Stalin. Jay Stalin will drop solo by himself 7 mixtapes, right? Mm-hmm. We're not even talking about albums. Then he's got probably 5 other mixtape projects with other artists.
Yeah.
Then he'll be dropping in between all that like 4 to 5 albums. So with all that being said, it's almost like you're using the mixtape to kind of, it's like your sampler, right? Before you get to the actual entree, before you get to that dessert, it's like the appetizer. Do you like this type of cheese? Do you like this type of cracker? Do you like this type of whatever? You know what I mean? However, you know what I'm saying, you set it out there, then from there, you know what I mean, when the album drops, you kind of know what you're looking for. Joe Budden is famous for doing that too. So, yep.
Definitely. But listen, guys, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break. Here is a small clip of C.O.A.K's Andretti.
I move like Kunta, a king in my own right, don't ever stop me. My creation is something that y'all can't hate for. I'm quiet like Tesla, but I still ride like one. I keep going with my goings up. Suicide doors for half of y'all caught in my bluff. I mean, catching the huff. I'm telling you what it is. I'm getting the higher off my own green. Get the big blow. No easy for anybody who trying to tease you. I'm just trying to get you right, yeah. I don't dodge the competition, but I do charge all challenges. Hoping y'all battle up. I'm just trying to tell you I connect like Voltron and understand this Camaro ain't for fun. If you ain't even feeling that, you ain't feeling me. And that's okay, I'm telling you, I'm on the ceiling, G. That means I'm literally out your lane when I'm telling you. Standing on top of the building screaming I'm the best. Understand, you can't pass the test. I've been doing this driving here for so long. Like, you ain't ready, how the hell you like strong? Like, I mean,
So,
you can't even blow the...
We're back, and I'm glad that you guys got a chance to see more of C.O.A.K's music. That was a freestyle, by the way, which I was really surprised that this dude was actually able to pull off a freestyle that long and this fluid that still. Like, he always done that, but it's like the song came together. I'm like, yo, this is the C.O.A.K I knew back in college, but like leveled up. Like, this dude decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna go Super Saiyan Blue level 3. I don't care where Goku and Vegeta at. I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing right now. So I definitely, definitely would acknowledge the skill level up. But I do ask that I would have asked you because, you was out here over in the East Coast for a little bit, and you spent a lot of ample time on the East Coast. As you mentioned, you got to network and work and do collabs with different artists and producers such as myself. But now that you're back over on the West Coast, what is the difference and what is the area, what is the vibe like between being out on the West Coast and the East Coast when it comes to different artists? It's like, how has the love been and how has the energy have been? Like, what has been the major difference between being on the West and the East Coast? Because you're one of the few artists that could say you've done that.
That's a very good question. Right now, on the East Coast, I felt like when I told people, hey, I rap, I felt like more people bombarded, not bombarding me per se, but like, oh yeah, all right, let me get your info, let me get all your information. But here on the West Coast, when you said, hey, I rap, they're like, all right, cool. And then on top of that, we're a lot more laid back. I feel like more so people want to watch. So it's like, let me see what you can do before I even start. All right, yeah, let's network, let's talk. For the couple of open mics that I did do, I did several out in Stockton. Same people that I rapped in front of, freestyle in front of. The first time I told them, yeah, I rap, they're like, oh, cool, that's what's up. So what type of rap you do? Oh, okay, cool. And then when they heard me consecutively, then they were like, all right, yeah, let me give you information. Opposed to on the East Coast, at least for me anyway, the moment you say you do something, everybody wants to kind of just jump at the opportunity to work with you. They don't really know what you got, or rather they're quick to be like, oh, well, do you got a Spotify? Let me hear what you got, what have you. Opposed to, let me just sit back and watch. Right now, I'm still filling out what works better, but that I did notice from that change, though. There are a lot more events here, I'll say that, than where I was at. And just to let y'all know, I was in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Sometimes I would go out further out, North Carolina, Atlanta. So, but there are a lot of events and stuff here for artists to get it anyhow, anyway. So, if you're out here on the Bay, you can. There's a lot of ways to show out your talents and your skills. So
okay, cool. So, as somebody who had that experience of moving around, like you had to do business and networking and stuff, I'm sure you had your share of having to email blogs. Yeah, had your share of submissions to get into these open mics. Just from your own personal experience, and you're basically in the underground now, already in the game. What is the value of being an independent content creator when it comes in the music field? And in these days, would you say being an artist and being a hip hop artist, especially these days when anybody could go out, buy a mic, anybody can go out and get themselves, the paddings they need, the stereo, they can get the speakers they need, they can get all that for, especially on Black Friday, you can get all that for under $300 for real. And you get a recording software for about a little over under $100 for the price of a gaming console. Do you think that music and just the art of making hip hop music or music in general has become oversaturated because of the innovations of SoundCloud and how almost inexpensive equipment is now in contrast to back in the 90s, which was thousands to $10,000s of dollars?
Got you. Simply put, I say no. I wouldn't say oversaturated. Just people finding their lane. You got to look at it like, you're driving on the highway or the freeway or wherever. You know what I mean? There's gonna be moments where people won't let you get in, which is very rare these days. And there's gonna be moments when people are gonna kind of block you, and you either got to speed up, slow down, get behind them, or get in front of them. And I feel like that's what it is right now. It's you finding your lane. I feel like people who say oversaturated are the ones who couldn't find anything. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of just block it out, or they chalk it up to, everybody's already done it. And that's cool, for those who want to have that mindset. I'm not going to stop you from having that mindset. But at the end of the day, I would say it's not oversaturated, just finding your lane. Sometimes you can find it in a month. Sometimes it'll take 2 years. Who knows? But as far as how important is it, especially for an independent artist, an independent hip-hop artist, it's so important. In my eyes, I look at mainstream labels are more interested in your following, your fan base, and can you generate a buzz. But more so now, if you listen to some of these deals, not everybody's deals, but most of these deals, they're kind of just giving you the keys to the car and just say drive as far as you want. Why? Because they know if you're an independent artist, you're doing that anyway. So they're trying to find out any best way to lock you in. Once they do, then it's kind of like breaking down what does what. You know what I mean? So, But as an independent artist, yes, it's kind of a struggle because you got to kind of hire out and start looking for like these third party or in between networks. But you're still the captain of the ship. You still run that ship, whether it's with the team or you're solo. You still run the ship.
Got it. Yeah. So the thing about it is, I agree with your statement with the oversaturation. I feel like it's a big cop-out statement because, like you said, which brilliant analogy, by the way, using the freeway. That was a brilliant analogy. But I use the analogy as of you're waiting online, and it's like there's a door that is your destination, but you're waiting online behind everybody else. And if you're waiting online behind everyone else, you're never going to get in. You got to find your own way. Kind of, you say you have to find your own way. You have to find your own lane in. And when you find your own lane in, you got to, you know what? I'm going to do this for you. You got to bring the noise. You got to bring the noise. Coach will tell you why he's laughing when I'm done, but you got to bring the noise. And the reason is you can't just find your own lane and then think that just because you found your own lane, you're going to have attention. You got to cause people to look at you, and then you got to cause people to keep looking at you. So the analogy that I like to use is instead of waiting online, get in your car, drive it to the wall on the side of the building, and then when everyone's heads turn, it's like, what in the world was that? You go ahead and you perform and you show out. That is how you maintain attention. That is how you keep the ball rolling if you are in that field. Of course, not every niche requires that, but if you're in a niche that requires attention, you need to bring the noise.
Right. Nah, I agree. That was a good selling point, bro. I like that. kind of like a little side note before I go in is he's talking about that because there's a mixtape of mine that I'm still gonna release. It's called Wrath of a Hip Hop Fiend, Bring the Noise. It's supposed to be a lot more bass-induced beats, messing around with 808s, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still going to be working on that project. But now, what he says is right, though. I mean, my thing is, in this industry, in this entertainment industry, let me say that, and you can tie sports to this, too. You have to, yeah, you have to find your lane, and not just find it, but you have to hold residence in it. You know what I'm saying? This is your house. This is your apartment, your condo, your townhouse, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But once you're there, you gotta vacuum your place. You gotta cook for yourself. You gotta basically, all in all, what I'm saying is you gotta make sure that you leave some type of imprint that you were there. Because if not, you know what I'm saying, I could come along, probably look at your lane and be like, oh, this is a sweet deal. I can do whatever I want and this, kick you out, and then I take over it. And then I hold on to that until either I get lazy, I got everything I wanted out of it, or someone else comes along and kicks me out. And those are the things that you got to realize. Like, you know, I know it's easier said than done, but you know that's part of the hustle. And for me, I love that. To me, I enjoy it. You know, how well can I go? How far can I go? You know what I mean? Is somebody behind me way better than me? Okay, what can I do? You know, that can outshine that person. Will Smith said it best. You know, you may be more athletic than I am, but if we both get on that treadmill, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. He's like, you're not beating me. He's like, I'm gonna die on that treadmill before I get off. And honestly, little by little, I tend to take that same mind state when it comes to working on my craft and building what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? You probably outspit me in 100 different ways, but when it comes to doing this music thing here, like I feel like I'll die on the track before I get up off it. So that's kind of like the muscle you gotta kind of.
You know what the funny part is of you saying that? I felt that way about music for the longest time, or whatever I get myself involved into. And when I noticed I felt like that, I saw Will Smith say that. Then I saw The Rock say that. Then I saw Gary Vaynerchuk say that. I'm like, I'm seeing three different people who are very successful in their own fields echoing my very sentiments. So I said, you know what? I feel like in good company saying that. It's like, I have a rule. And one of my rules is, if you're not willing to die for your convictions, they're not yours. Yes. That's the straight up truth. If you're not willing to die for your convictions, they are not yours. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people may feel that that's extreme, but at the same time, it's the extreme that win.
Indeed.
That's the truth that you cannot ignore. It's the extreme that are number one. It's the extreme that really get things done. Well, let me put a huge disclaimer on that before somebody goes out and do some reckless stuff. The extreme who use wisdom. Because don't just be extreme and not know yourself. You need some good self-awareness and know yourself and know what you can really handle and don't lie to yourself. When you're true to yourself and you understand your abilities and you understand you do have this, then the next step is breaking through fear and self-doubt.
Right. No, I agree. But you know what? The main thing I feel like a lot of people actually face, and I've noticed it for myself, and I've talked to other artists both here and back in the East Coast and down south.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's fear that gets a lot of people. I think it's the fear. Let me take it back. It's not the fear of failure that I think that gets people. It's the fear of winning.
The fear of success. It definitely.
Fear of success, because I feel like it's almost like you ever been in a situation, or you ever done that one thought, like let's say your mom and your dad or your grandparent or whoever your guardian is, or even you and your friends, you go buy a lottery ticket. And for that brief moment before you scratch, you start thinking, what if I win it? You know, so you start thinking about all the things you want to do.
Definitely.
And that's cool, and I'm glad people do that. But I'm like, why won't people channel that into whatever they're doing? It's like the moment you're getting close to something, or the moment you're getting ready to do something, all of a sudden, all the negative, treat it like a lottery ticket.
I got the answer for that, actually.
When I scratch, I'm gonna buy me a Ferrari, I'm gonna buy me a this. Have that mindset. So if it is you're taking a test, have the mindset that if I ace this test, oh man, I'm gonna do backflips all on the desk and everything. You know what I mean? Yo, if I ask this girl out and she says yes, oh man, it's gonna work out. Blah blah blah. Yo, if I train for it, like I'm not saying this always gonna work, but I feel like that will help out a lot more than just being in this mindset of a fear of success. And trust me, I've been there. I still deal with that. But I feel like, you know, sometimes that's the type of mentality that you gotta have.
You know what it is, and I got an answer for that. And I'm glad you used the lottery ticket because it's actually going to help with this. It's not even so much a fear of success; it's a fear of an increased responsibility. That's what a lot of people have, because the reason why the lottery ticket won't happen, because to them the lottery ticket is the easy way out. To them, they don't have to work a day in their life. These same people are the same people who say, oh my gosh, I hate that it's Monday. Oh my gosh, I wish I got $1 million so I don't have to go here. I don't have to go to work. These are people that want to lay up in a yacht and not work for the rest of their lives and portion out that money to their end of days. So that logic is not going to work for a lot of people, because they fear having increased responsibility, the fear of, oh my gosh, that means I'm going to have to work harder to maintain this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to be able to maintain and buy this and take care of this and take care of that. That's why there's a lot of people that never go up. And look at the people that you work with and are employed with. Why do you think some people are okay with being at the bottom positions? Because they know the higher up position is going to expect more out of them, expect more energy that they are probably not willing to give. And truth be told, if that's in your DNA, that you don't like giving more than the bare minimum, then the truth of the matter is that's going to show even in your passions. You're not going to give it your all because you don't like going 100%. You don't like doing the best that you can. And if you feel that way, then truth be told, you don't deserve any success.
And you know what? And I agree with that to an extent. Like, I won't even say it's in your DNA. The reason I say it's not even in the DNA, right, really, is because
it can be learned.
Let's yeah, it is a learned, you know, situation, because if you think about it, all right, let's go off of food then. If I bring your favorite food, you're not going to sit here and be like, well, I'll take one or two and I'll stop.
Okay.
No, we'll continue to keep eating. And my rebuttal for those who be like, you know, I'm comfortable where I'm at for that situation, I'm like, okay, cool. But with comfortability, comfortability. Can't get the
you said it. You got it. Comfortability. Yeah. You got it.
Comfortability, right? Also comes with some responsibilities. That means stop complaining. That means you can't expect any more. That means if your check says $1,500 and Susie Q next to you got $1,800, you should leave it at $1,500. But when you start inquiring, when you start looking into, when you start checking, when you start objectifying something else, you know what you're implying? You're implying that, you might want to get a little uncomfortable. And the thing about a little uncomfortability does not hurt nobody.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, I mean, you know, when you're doing something that you're not used to, oh, I don't want people to look at me funny. Oh, I don't want... But look at some of the people who you listen to or you watch, or, you know what I'm saying, or you hear being talked about. I'm not saying, okay, you're going to become the next Harrison Ford. I'm not saying you're going to become the next Mac Dre. I'm not saying you're going to become, you know what I'm saying, the next Scarlett Johansson. But what I'm saying is that once you get uncomfortable for whatever it is, do you know that means you can never go back to whatever it is that you're doing? Or if you try to go back, you can't go back to it the same way. So if you were working a certain way, then you took it up a notch, let's say 60%. Nah, I don't like this. You go back, you'll never work at that same 50% again. And it's just what it is.
And the thing about it is, I think a lot of people are, I'm glad you used that. And thank you for saying, like, because you're right, it's not really so much in your DNA, it is learned behavior. But the problem is that I feel that a lot of people have is a lot of people don't, the best way I could put it is, a lot of people don't have the encouragement to believe that they can go beyond their comfort zone on a daily basis, because they're surrounded by a lot of people with the same negative energy of not wanting to do much. And it's like
situations in the environment.
Exactly. And it's easy to become a product of your environment. It's so easy to become that, because there's two things that are happening. either you're influencing your environment or your environment is influencing you. And you need to pick the latter. You need to understand that I have the opportunity to be the greater light, and I could be the reflection of what I desire to be, and I can raise the standard by working harder. But if I don't want to work harder, I can't get upset if I start to feel lazier. I can't get upset if I want to take longer breaks. I can't get upset if I start feeling like I deserve to have a break for doing less. And the truth of the matter is, you got to work. You got to work to achieve the things that you really want to achieve. You really got to work hard at it. There has to be some form of hard work before you can have that long period of break that you so desire.
I mean, like, somebody has to work hard in order for something to happen. Even for those people who sometimes look at, oh man, look at X, Y, and Z's kids. They don't ever have to work, and they're my age. Yeah, but their mom and dad had to bust their butts. Exactly. Even if they were swindling somebody, they had to come up with them. You know how dope a scheme you got to come up with sometimes to trick people? So you gotta be on point with it. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is what it is. So I'm like Avedon just said, so if hard work is around, you might as well just do it. Just hunker down and just get into it. Just do it for real, like Nike.
All right, with that, we're going to actually go to one more commercial break. Here is a live performance of C.O.A.K, Dear Last Place. Check it out.
You're not going to be last ever again. Like, you're going to be on the top. You want to do what you got to do. So go ahead, DJ. Let's do that. Everybody's been down before. But just know that you can always get back up. Don't slow down. Keep moving. Dear last place, I've been on my way, no longer holding me down, I'm a winner's race. You've been pulling me back, I can't slow my pace. I've been training for days while I'm leaving break. Dear last place, I've been on my way, no longer holding me down, I'm a winner's race. You've been pulling me back, I can't slow my pace. I've been training for days while I'm leaving break. Every moment I've been in my down fight, still trying to figure out how the hell I go down like. Now they're trying to bloody put me in the round like you. Yeah, trying to knock me down a couple rounds like you. I mean, have you ever pictured your homeboy getting hit with slug survivor theory? Now you trying to understand who did what? Now you trying to figure out how to come up. But now it's like you trying to get it like you always been up. I mean, I let my wings fly. Now they're trying to play. I was trying to keep it moving. Yeah, I'm glad I'm good today. I keep it rolling like I'm supposed to. But I'm just trying to keep my head up. You get what I'm saying to you? If you ain't taking pictures and you just falling off, if you ain't doing words, then you ain't saying much. If you can't feel it, then you don't know the feeling. I'm just telling you, this is how it goes. So like, dear last place, I've been on my way, no longer holding me down. I'm a winner's race, running me back, but can't slow my pace. I've been training for days, watching me get great. Dear last place, I've been on my way, no longer holding me down. I'm a winner's race.
Welcome back, and we're gonna talk a little bit about gaming because C.O.A.K is somebody that, like myself, I am a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, and C.O.A.K is another huge Final Fantasy VII fan. And one of the things that we both acknowledge is that the music in that game was ahead of its time. I've heard bits and pieces of the music that's coming up in the remake, but C.O.A.K, I wanted to ask just your opinion on this game by itself. And since the game is coming out March 3rd of next year, you got a PS4, I got a PS4, so I know that's a game that we're going to get. Actually, I have two questions I want to ask you. Just one's a fun question, one's an actual real question. For one, is this going to be a game that's going to go into your backlog until you beat everything else, or are you going to just get this game and hit the line?
Yo. So on some really real, like for real, man, he's one of the few people who never leave me alone about it. Look, okay, I have OCD. He doesn't call it that, but I have OCD. All right, my OCD is if literally I like some form of order. So if I buy a game and I just started playing it, and let's say I don't know for whatever reason I stopped playing it, and part 2 comes out, Even if you put on part 2, hand me the controller, put a gun to my head, and say, "Yeah, if you don't play this right here, your brains are gonna be splattered on the other side." I guess they're gonna be splattered because I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna just turn to you, be like, "Could you please just put on one, man? Just put on one, bro. Like, it don't hurt, man. I'm almost done. I probably got like 30 minutes left. Lying like I don't know what. I probably got like an hour, like 4 hours left to the game. But I'm just like, I just got like 30 minutes left. Like, that's just me. Like, but to be honest, for Final Fantasy 7, you know what? To be honest, I will do my damnedest to make some time to actually play that directly. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3. So
you're not missing anything.
Oh, don't tell me that. Oh no.
You're not missing anything.
No.
You are not missing anything, my dude.
Yeah. So it's like Incredibles 2, huh?
Worse. Like,
I would delete that right off my PlayStation. For that. Click. I just watch it on YouTube. Like,
no. Listen, you could actually do that. The game is mostly a movie over a video game. I'm not playing with you. Like, literally, you go from one place, cutscene. All right, go to the next place, walk a few more steps, cutscene. Yeah, like, I was not happy with the game. I put the game on pause. I'm still in the first area since I first got the game, and someone bought it for me, and I'm like, I got other games to play.
So it's basically because they said this is the last one supposedly. So basically, it's just a movie, and you get to play some snippets of it.
Yeah, it's a disappointment. It's a disappointment. But going back to Final Fantasy VII, with how much we love the soundtrack, how much we love that game.
Yeah.
Are you excited for just to play this game, even though this is not the full Final Fantasy VII that we know? It's not the same game that we know at all. I don't know if you've been following, but
right.
It's yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not at all the full game that we would know, but it's taking a whole new definition of the word remake, and they're actually remaking the game itself. So they're rewriting the scripts, they're redoing the characters, the battle system.
The literal meaning of remake.
Exactly. It's not just a remake in the gaming sense, but the literal meaning of a remake. Even how, I don't know if you noticed, but how'd you like Final Fantasy X? Let me ask.
Say it again?
How'd you like Final Fantasy X?
Oh, I hated it.
You hated it? Did you like, well, I did too, actually. Did you like the summons, though? How they did the summons? Or how the summons could actually fight a little bit?
And correct me if I'm wrong. This is the one where one of the main characters' name is Titus, right?
Yeah.
But the summons, you got kind of like pay off for it. You got to have some type of amount of money to use it.
No. The summons were Yuna's spell, so you could be able to summon them, and they would actually have like their own HP and everything gotcha, like they had like a meter before they went out, and they did like one final attack with regular attacks.
Okay. Did I like how I like the cinematics of when you I feel like if I were to say, I would say that the cinematics for the summons, I think, are one of the, if not the best, from all the other Final Fantasy, even over
15.
15 was dope, but 10 to me, just how everything came back, especially when you my favorite summon was Yajirobe, I believe his name is. It started with a Y. He's more like a samurai. They have all the cherry blossoms come down, and he'll just come out of nowhere.
You said Yajirobe like this is Dragon Ball Z.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, but I forgot his name. I really forgot his name. But he does come out, and it's just like, yeah. I'm like, oh, word? All right, cool. All right, I'm with it. But, 10, not really my bag, man.
Listen, I have something that I say. After 9, everything was kind of like to me. After Final Fantasy 9, like 10, 11, and 12, don't have an opinion. 13, So
15 to me was Final Fantasy starring Superman. That's what that was. Because once you get to a certain point, that's pretty much who you have. Like, you can. I generally, and I think I've seen this on YouTube. Somebody said that you can literally, once you get to a certain point, you can literally solo this whole game with Noxus by himself. And
Goodness.
I agree. I do agree. I really do agree. Like,
That's good. That's a game I got to clear for my backlog too eventually.
oh yeah, bruh.
By the way,
yep.
I'm getting God of War this Friday. That Best Buy deal, it was $10. So
Okay. You gonna love it. You gonna love it. Play through it. Let the credits roll, and then let the credits roll, and then you're in for a treat. Just know that the ending part is unbeatable. So no matter how hard you fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I wanted to ask you, like, are you really excited for this whole? It's more like a reimagining. This whole reimagining of Final Fantasy VII, where they're going to actually redo some of the story arcs, or how you're able to get summons in Midgar. Like the first part is just only Midgar. Right. So, are you excited for that? Now, it's not Midgar as we know playing the game, but it's everything you played before and a lot more.
Got you. To me, I'm truly excited, man. Just like you said before, being a Final Fantasy VII fan, that's what first opened my eyes to RPGs. Now, yes, I understand people won't be like, oh, what? RPGs been around for a long time. Yes, I know that. But listen, as a kid in middle school, seeing a dude with a sword that I've never seen, he's just staring at some giant building. I'm just like, yo, what is you staring at? I need that game. Let me find out what you're staring at. You know what I mean? After that, I was hooked. Like, I played 5 minutes of it. I said, oh, this is corny. Came back to it. Next thing you know, 5 turned to 10. A 10 turned to an hour. So to be able to play a reimagined version of Final Fantasy VII, to me, that's dope. Like, some people are upset. I know. I was talking to a family member of mine who also was big on Final Fantasy VII, who was like, oh, they should just put it inside a gift box, or do it like how they do all the other Final Fantasy, make it 2 discs. I'm like, nah, man, it's way too much information. A lot has changed, so I'm excited for it. So it's a long time coming.
Well,
so
you like
Enix.
Well, the first part is coming out March 3rd of next year, so that's all the Midgar. But you like the traditional RPG styles, or you like more like the Kingdom Hearts battle styles of fighting? I
like more of the Kingdom Hearts battle style, just because I feel like that works best for those who aren't the best at blocking. Like I've never you see me play before.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of dude who does a lot of blocking. I'm the guy who goes all in, like seriously.
That's why we have draws in fighting games all the time. Yeah, that's why no one wins fighting games between us, because we it's like, screw all this blocking. I don't got time for that.
Right. But no, I would say this. Abaddon to me is dope at parrying, bruh. So like, he's the one who actually made me start to parry more. Wow. Parry
so it was Soul Calibur.
Yep.
It was
do a lot more blocking and a lot more, because at first I really didn't do it. I didn't care for it. It was like, no, I'm gonna just berate you with so many hits. But no, like, I mean, he wouldn't block a lot of my hits, but he would always just parry it to the side, and he'll do some crazy combo on me. I was like, all right, I need to start blocking. I need to.
Man. So, but that was just a small, like, for those of you who don't know, C.O.A.K is one of the few people that we would openly just talk trash the entire match all the way through. Like literally, and sorry, Chips, if Chips, you're not, I'm not letting this down. I'm saying this here on the BFB Breakfast Podcast as well. You got that work in Tekken 3, and you got that trash talking to you Tekken 3. And if you want to know why, you can blame C.O.A.K right here, because that's like literally when C.O.A.K would beat you, he would be like, yeah, you was gonna win anyway, but nice try.
No, man, like, I mean, just trash talking in general. It was always fun. Like, I remember this vivid time. It was a girl I was dating, and I was on the phone with her, and Abaddon was like, "Yo, you want me to pause it? You want me to pause it?" I'm like, no. Hell with that. We gonna square it off. Let's go. So we going back and forth, and then I'm up here trying to be slick. I'm over here talking to the girl like, "You see this? Yeah, mama, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't see me. So he just looks at me. He's like, all right, you done. I said, what? And it's like, as if like a dark cloud just came over my head, and like the sun just came down. All of a sudden, who are you using in Tekken?
In
Because I know
Tekken, I was using Harangue in Tekken.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yes, it was. It was
using
Harangue. Okay,
Harangue.
so I want to make sure. So it was Harangue, and I think I was using Jin. This dude went to town on me, bro. Like, and then he like, what were you saying? He was looking at me, and he just hitting buttons. What were you saying? What were you saying? What were you saying? What were you saying? So aren't you gonna block? Aren't you? It got to a point where it was like, I screamed my so loud, and then she's like, "What? What's going on?" I was like, "I'm gonna call you back." I didn't even hang up the phone, bro. I just dropped the phone, and I was like, "Yo, we gonna run that back." He was like, "All right." I mean, don't be crying because you got beat, like, you know. So yeah, trash.
Nah. You left out a problem. Like, I was like, "Hey, yo, man, you just gonna hang up on your girl like that, dog? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Nah, I mean, you can call her back, dog. Come on. I promise. I won't beat you as bad. I promise. I won't make you look as bad. You good? You good? I mean, dog, man. You can't block a kick to the face, dog. I mean, you got hands with Jim. But you can't block the kick to the face.
See what I'm saying, man? That's all I was doing, man. And if she's up here on the, like I said, I didn't mind y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't hang up the phone. So the phone is on. She's laughing at me, and then she's going, beat him again. Yup, he deserves it. Does he don't want to talk to me on the phone? I'm like, what? And I'm up here trying to use my chucks to like press end on my phone. It's chucks, right? So the phone I have, like, you can't press it. You can't turn it off. Like, and I'm just trying to click that chuck pressing. And it's like, she's like, are you pressing the phone? What are you doing? What are you doing? You just getting mad because you getting beat. I'm like, oh man, you know what? This is not going to work.
This was a hilarity, but that's why I said it's like one of the few things that I would say. It's like C.O.A.K, you know. The one thing I will say is he wouldn't just let playing video games just be only a pastime. One of the things that I did admire, and there's only a few people that I noticed that would do this, but you would also incorporate what like the games you've been playing or the games that had influences around you into your actual raps. You did that with like Snake Eater, you did that with Street Fighter, you even do that with anime, which I found that was actually creative because you would actually relay it with actual real life things. And there's only a few people in the game that actually do that and do that effectively. So the fact that you was able to pull that off a lot, it's like it shows a lot of creative growth, and that's where it's like being a creative is. It's like you can use pretty much anything that is an influence to make something great. But I want to ask one last question before we get on out of here because we've been talking for a minute. And if you could give any advice to those who are independent content creators and how they could just have self-discipline and better focus, because we established that a lack of increased responsibility could be a cause, but I think a remedy for that is actually better focus and more self-discipline. If people were more self-disciplined and better focused, then they could focus more on winning rather than worrying about what comes with winning. So what is your advice with that?
My advice honestly is it all starts in the mind, right? Like anything that you think of, any scheme, any format, any type of plan that you have, it all starts in the mind. Mm-hmm. Yes, you should always plan because, as the saying goes, you know what I'm saying, those who fail to plan, plan to fail. Yeah. But if you don't execute what you're planning, you never know what it's going to be. I feel like, and Avedon, you may have heard this before. It's called the jogger's mindset. Yeah. When you are in bed, and this is how the jogger's mindset goes. I heard this from a motivational site once. Say, for instance, you need to get out of bed and exercise or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as the alarm goes, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, you pop out. Over time, you're going to notice you're going to start moving way before you even get to 1. Sometimes even before you get to 2. Mm-hmm. So I say when you're planning anything or you've already ascertained the information that you ascertain, and when I mean get the information, I'm not saying take 3 years, take 4 years. Oh, I'm gonna wait till I get $500. I'm gonna wait till I get $700. There's always a way around something. But once you get a plan, have the jogger's mindset. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put it in motion. Just put it in motion. If you fail, then you know that process doesn't work. But if it works, then it's like, damn, I can continue from there. But yeah, discipline is always going to be a given. Again, from Will Smith again, self-love. You have to have that. I love myself this much that I'm going to focus on this. I love myself this much that I'm going to be able to set aside the time and the actual discipline to go and do this. Yeah, I can go hang out. Yeah, I can go party, but I got to go do this. And I always say this all the time. I have little cousins that also want to rap, and I always say this all the time. Some of your favorite rappers, majority of your favorite rappers actually, despite how they look and they do all the bouncing around and jamming, they have strict regimens. I want this to sink in real quick, and I'm not name dropping just for the sake of name dropping, but NBA Youngboy, for the ones who know that, this person is always there earlier than the actual journalist or reporter. So if the journalist reporter says, hey, I'm going to be here at 1 p.m., he is at the location, sitting in the area between 11:30 and 12. Let that sink in. The game song, he will write to a song 3 or 4 times over, come to the studio with 4 different styles. So just in case if one don't work, another one does. I'm not saying for anybody that this is what you have to do, but I want you to understand that mindset. So when it comes to certain artists, you got to start doing and putting yourself in the same bracket as I'm already there. You got to act like you're already there. And this is not only with music, this is with anything. So once you start doing that, everything else will come. The finance aspect, the notoriety, or whatever you're trying to search, it will all come. But it all comes from that discipline, self-love, and the mindset. It all starts from the mind first. The mind the brain is something powerful. You give power to it, I promise you, it will not fail you. But the moment you take away power from it, then it becomes your enemy. Then that's when you're going to the studio less. You're not exercising anymore. You're not studying anymore. It's the mindset first. Mindset is the temple of everything else. So that's what I was.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Shoot. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. Like you dropped it. I'm gonna let you drop like end with the gem right there, because that's a great note to leave out on. Is there anything that you want to give out to the people?
Oh man,
like
sure.
anything like what can they know about you? Where can they find you? Like Twitter? Where can they find you, man?
Sure. So finally, I got my Snapchat good. So you can follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram at the real C.O.A.K. That's THE real as in real boy, real life, C.O.A.K. Facebook, just type in C.O.A.K. You can find me on there. Right now, getting some stuff together for Spotify and other streaming music as well. Videos will be coming out pretty soon, and so will shows. I actually just got some brand new things going on, so you know what I'm saying. But you definitely will see a lot more from me. Check me out on YouTube as well at C.O.A.K. The real C.O.A.K. Excuse me. You can check me up on there. Follow me. Subscribe to me, comment, you know what I mean? Hey, you can give me insight, whatever. I love talking to people. I love speaking with people. So I'm just, like I said, I'm like the around the way dude. Talk to me, tell me what's up, and we'll definitely catch up from there, for real.
Cool. All right, and for those of you who don't know, if you want to check out some of those older projects, Rap and Hip Hop Fame, Above Numbers, and Mind to the Mic, those are all at COAK.bandcamp.com still, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to have links in the description down for you guys. This is your boy, Avedon. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the 3rd episode of the Beats for Breakfast podcast. And that is a wrap. I won't say that's the show. That is a wrap, you guys. So, with that said, if you like this video, or if you like this podcast, if you listen to this from the audio area, from iTunes, Anchor, wherever you listen to this to, if you like this podcast, make sure you show some love by hitting that like button. You hit that subscribe button, that follow button, and most of all, you make sure you share this with a friend. This is Avedon and C.O.A.K, and we are out. Peace.
back, but can't slow my pace. I've been training for days, watch me be a great. Dead last place, I've been on my way. No longer holding me down, I'ma win this race. You've been pulling me back, but can't slow my pace. I've been training for days, watch me be a great. If you were sinking or falling, what would you do? Shadow watch your worst fears, that's living proof. A king in his right mind's never in the wrong position. Always go against the grain, that's war of attrition. You're gonna have to bury me if you want me to fly. Starting from the cellar, now we party on rooftops. What you thought? Lay flat and don't talk? I done broke my chain, so you can't hold me back. I've been a fighter who been fought for everything you got. From ladies to lyrics, pictures good to the last drop. I won't fold, I won't falter. I wrote my destiny in ink, I'm the author. I thought I couldn't move, but then I know farther. If they block your lane, then go harder. I got too much on my plate just to hold back. I beat my chest, I'm ready, I hope you know that. Dead last place, I've been on my way. No longer holding me down, I'ma win this race. You've been pulling me back, but can't slow my pace. I've been training for days, watch me be a great. Dead last place, I've been on my way. No longer holding me down, I'ma win this race. You've been pulling me back, but can't slow my pace. I've been training for days, watch me be a great.